What's going on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch? How's everybody doing on this beautiful day? It's another episode of 717 Sports Chat Live, episode 13 to be exact. How's everybody doing in the 717 and abroad today? Very beautiful day out. Very, very beautiful day. Another day of no humidity, beautiful weather. They got a nice breeze going. You know what I mean? It's starting to feel like fall time's coming a little bit early, and summer's already kind of making its way out, especially with that humidity. How's everybody doing today? I'm doing well, man. I'm blessed. You know what I mean? Another day I'm alive. You know what I mean? I get to make more content, get to make more videos. So anytime I'm blessed to be able to do that, I'm a happy camper. But how's everybody doing in the 717 and abroad today? Whether you're in the 717 or not, I want to know how you're feeling today. Hit that comment box. We got a lot to cover today. If you read the description, we got a lot in NBA free agency frenzy, a lot of big moves, a lot of surprising moves that we did not see coming. You know what I mean? It's been a big day, especially for basketball fans. NBA this is one of the most interesting signing free agency periods we've had in a long time. I feel like, and anyway, you know what I mean? I'm really excited for how free agency has played out this year for multiple teams, not even just for my 76ers, for multiple teams. But how's everybody doing today, man? I want to know how everybody's doing today before we start this before we start delving into everything. I want to know how everybody's feeling today. Everybody blessed. We got 3 people watching so far. Hit the comment section. Let me know how you guys is feeling today. How was your day? You guys have been enjoying your day? Was it a rough day? I want to know how you guys are feeling today, man. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm feeling blessed today, you guys. I'm feeling really, really blessed. Another day I'm alive. Another day I get to push out more content and continue to build my brand. Can't ask God for anything more. Also, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. The support is greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, I ain't going to waste no more time. You know what I mean? We're going to delve into it. Our first topic is obviously NBA free agency frenzy. NBA free agency is here, everybody. And do we have a lot of moves that were made? Yes, we do. A lot of surprising moves, a lot of intriguing moves. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, the first I'm going to talk about, as you see in the first one, is Kyle Lowry was traded to the Miami Heat. It was a sign and trade deal where Toronto obviously signed him to an extension, but then traded his contract to the Heat. Apparently, it was a 3-year deal that Lowry signed with, which is it's important to know that because Lowry is in his mid-30s, so he's about 35 years old. So the fact that he's going to be playing till he's about close to 40, I mean, it's something to keep an eye on because anybody who knows the NBA, the shelf life for a player is usually the ceiling. The ceiling is usually 30, 35, 36 years old, and then the player is out the league, sometimes even sooner than that. But Kyle Lowry signs a 3-year deal with the Heat. I'm going to touch on this and what I think about it. I mean, I honestly love this move for Miami. See Kyle Lowry right here, former Toronto Raptor. I love this move for Miami. I think that gives them the veteran presence at running point that they needed. The defense that he provides fits in with their system exponentially because as a defensive team, and Kyle Lowry, along with Jimmy Butler, is a multiple-time all-defensive team player. So I think the move fits, and it's not only that, he can add shooting and he can add perennial scoring, to which I feel like Miami kind of lack. They need more scoring. You know, that's a team that averaged less than 110 points a game. So it's safe to say that the Miami Heat needed much scoring, and Kyle Lowry is still a guy who can get you 15 to 20 a game, along with a few good assists and that defense and a good few steals as well. So I love this move for the Miami Heat. Now they have their own little big 3, and Kyle Lowry running point, Jimmy Butler at the 3, and Bam Adebayo at the 4. It's also worth to note Miami did re-sign Duncan Robinson to a 5-year, $90 million deal. For me personally, you know what I mean? I don't think that was a good signing by Miami. I feel like Miami gave up too much for Duncan Robinson in terms of money. 5 years, $90 million. I mean, for a guy who's a streaky shooter at best, and he doesn't do much outside the stat box other than shoot and score, that to me is a little bit too much money. Could have went cheaper, but be that as it may, that's the deal that Miami made. They wanted to bring back that continuity that Duncan Robinson, provided for them. They didn't want his services going anywhere else. And he is a good young shooter. He can improve. He can improve his game. So Miami re-signed Duncan Robinson to a 5-year, $90 million deal to go with the 3-year deal that Kyle Lowry signed. So hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Kyle Lowry trade to the Miami Heat. Do you think it's a good move for the Heat? Do you think it's a bad move? Do you think he fits their system? Do you not think he fits their system? Me personally, I think he fits their system. I love this move for Miami. He's a veteran. He's a champion. That championship pedigree is also key. He's a veteran. He's a champion. He's a proven leader. I love this move for Miami. They got better. I feel like Miami got better. But I want to know your opinion. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about Toronto trading Kyle Lowry to the Miami Heat for a 3-year deal. In return, Toronto did get back a draft pick and Precious Achiuwa and Goran Dragic. So it kind of leveled itself out because, I mean, obviously Kyle Lowry is better than Goran Dragic, but Dragic is still a good, formidable point guard in this league. So Toronto didn't make out too bad, especially for letting go a veteran player like that. They got another veteran player. Dragic still got some years left in the tank. So for both sides, for the Raptors and the Heat, I like this trade. I like this trade a lot. But hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about the Kyle Lowry trade to the Miami Heat. Do you think it's a good move? Do you think it's a bad move? Do you think that makes the Heat better? Do you think that it doesn't make the Heat better? I want to know your opinion. And as well, let me know what you guys think. Does this move Miami up the ranks in the Eastern Conference? Where do you rank now Miami in terms of that top echelon teams in the Eastern Conference? Because if I'm not mistaken, I think it's fair to say it was Brooklyn, Philly, and Milwaukee. Maybe Atlanta, you can argue, being that Atlanta did eliminate Philly. But in terms of, let's really be realistic here, you know what I mean? Philly, possibly Atlanta, Brooklyn, and Milwaukee were deadlocks at number 1 and 2. Where do you think this trade ranks Miami and the rest of the Eastern Conference? Do you think that moves them into the number 3 spot? Do you even give them this number 2 spot ahead of Milwaukee? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this sign and trade. Kyle Lowry traded to the Miami Heat from the Toronto Raptors and re-signed on a 3-year deal to stay with the Heat. Moving on to the next caption in this in the NBA free agency bubble. Lonzo Ball. This is the one right here. And we're going to touch on another one I didn't see coming. Lonzo Ball signed a 4-year, $85 million deal with the Chicago Bulls. I did not see Lonzo Ball being traded to the Chicago Bulls at all. I didn't think the Bulls were in play at all to land really anybody of note. I'll be completely honest. Because the Bulls, when's the last time you really ever seen the Bulls go all in on free agency? It's been a long time. So when I was doing the show yesterday, this deal actually got done. I actually mentioned it on the show as part of breaking news that Lonzo Ball signed with the Chicago Bulls on this 4-year, $85 million deal. I like the move. I think that Lonzo has proved that he's improved his game. His three-point shooting took a tremendous jump from being a low-end 30% three-point shooter to now a high-end 30% three-point shooter hitting the 40%. On top of that, he's just matured. He's matured as a playmaker. He's matured as an overall player. I love this move for the Bulls. As well as now, I'm also getting word, as you see in the other caption, DeMar DeRozan. Now DeMar DeRozan as well is working on a sign-and trade to the Bulls to join Lonzo Ball. So now all of a sudden the Chicago Bulls are now in the conversation to be, I don't want to say legitimate contenders, but to make some noise next year. When you look at this lineup with Lonzo Ball, this is how I'm portraying the lineup for the Bulls. If they keep Lauri Markkanen as well. If they keep him. You got Lonzo running point, possibly Kobe White running the 2. That depends on what happens with Zach LaVine as well. Zach LaVine hasn't even re-signed with the Bulls, and who's to say he does? But if I'm looking at it this way, all right, so let's just do a quick Bulls roster, how it should look if Zach LaVine resigns. You got Lonzo Ball at the point, Zach LaVine at the 2, DeMar DeRozan at the 3, possibly Lauri Markkanen at the 4 if they decide to keep him, and you got Nikola Vucevic at the 5. The Chicago Bulls, with these moves, just became a team to talk about in the Eastern Conference. They have just became a team to talk about in the Eastern Conference. I love these moves. It's beautiful to see teams like the Bulls, who have not been great for a while now, start to finally break open the wallet and say, you know what, enough is enough. We want to get back into that contention. We want to get back to the days where Michael Jordan was, where Chicago was the talk of the town because of Michael Jordan and the Bulls team. I love these moves. You get Ball, who's a potential all-star. He hasn't made an all-star yet, but he's a potential all-star, especially if his game continues to elevate. You have DeMar DeRozan, who's a legitimate small forward in this league, a former all-star, a superstar. And then you got a big man in Nikola Vucevic, who's one of the best, you can argue, top 3 to 5 big men in this league. And then that's not including, we don't know if they're going to re-sign Zach LaVine yet. The Chicago Bulls could have a 4-headed monster on the roster by the time this whole free agency is said and done, if Zach LaVine re-signs with them. Wow. Shocking turn of events in free agency. Did not see the Chicago Bulls in play to make these type of moves at all. At all. But I love it. I love it. I love it when teams, it's always good to freshen up the league. It's always good when those teams that have been on the bottom tier for so long start to get the pictures, start to make moves to where they can ascend to the top. The Bulls are going to be a team to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. The Bulls are going to be a team to talk about, especially if they can re-sign Zach LaVine. And if this team as a whole meshes what they put together and can stay healthy, the Bulls will be a problem. You can think of the Bulls as this upcoming season's Atlanta Hawks. Because I said it before the NBA season started this past year that the Hawks were going to be a problem for anybody because of that young team that they put together, but that was a good young core that they put together. Now, granted, Atlanta started off rough, but once they made that coaching change from Lloyd Pierce to Nate McMillan, you started seeing the results. And what I had said at the beginning of the year before the season started came to fruition. The Hawks became a legitimate threat in the Eastern Conference. With these moves, I now feel the same way about the Chicago Bulls, being that they've gone out and signed Lonzo Ball, being that it's all but done that they are going to sign and trade for DeMar DeRozan. Even if they don't re-sign Zach LaVine, they still have a formidable 3-headed monster to contend in the East now, with Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic. Not to forget, this team still has Kobe White. If Zach LaVine does decide not to go back to the Bulls, Kobe White can step into the number 2 role. And maybe he can start to flourish even more, being that his playing time could possibly elevate. He's another young man who's really, really good. It's just Chicago's been up and down with his play time. One game he'll play 30-plus minutes. The next, you'll see him for 15 minutes. You can't expect consistency out of a player unless you're playing them consistently. So now that I look at these moves that the Bulls have done, I'm calling it right now. The Chicago Bulls will be the Atlanta Hawks of the 2021 season. They will be that bottom tier team that finally ascends and breaks through into the playoffs. I'm calling it right now. Barring injury, the Chicago Bulls will make the playoffs this year. With this team, with or without Zach LaVine, with the 3-headed monster of Lonzo Ball, Nikola Vucevic, and now DeMar DeRozan, as it's being reported from ESPN that he is signing and trading to get sent to the Bulls. The Chicago Bulls are now legitimate, at least in a legitimate conversation, to say That's a team that has been on the bottom for so long that will make the playoffs this upcoming year. I'm in shock, but I'm not mad at all. I love these moves that the Bulls made. To me, at first, I thought Kyle Lowry might have been the best sign and trade of the whole free agency so far with this whole move to the Heat. But now that I'm seeing what the Bulls have done, man, I'm really, really liking the Bulls right now. I really like what they're putting together. Really like what they're doing. That's being aggressive. That's saying I've had enough of losing. I want to win. I'm going to go out and break the wallet, and I'm going to get real talent. Instead of just botching through the draft or signing guys who are washed up that can't really play no more. I love these moves by the Chicago Bulls. But I want to know what you think. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Chicago Bulls moves, signing Lonzo Ball, and now it's being reported that DeMar DeRozan will be acquired through a sign and trade from the Spurs. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like these moves from Chicago? Do you not like these moves from Chicago? Do you think this aggressiveness will pay off for them? Do you think it will not pay off for them? Do you think this group, even without Zach LaVine, we're just going to even go in terms without Zach LaVine, do you think with the core group of Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, and Nikola Vucevic, that the Chicago Bulls can now be in the conversation for a playoff spot next year? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Chicago Bulls moves. I love it. I personally, I love it. I love it. Shocking, but I love it. Would have never guessed the Chicago Bulls would be in play like this free agency. It's been so long since they've done something like this. So long. But I like it. As a fan of not just the 76ers, as a fan of basketball, period, I love these moves by the Bulls. I do. Good way to be aggressive. Good way to be unpredictable. Because there was a lot of talk of DeRozan going to the Lakers. Huh, that just shot down those hopes and dreams for LA fans. Wow. I'm sorry if it feels like I'm over exaggerating. Like I'm honestly gobsmacked, but like elated for the Chicago Bulls. There's any Chicago fans that end up watching this video, watching this stream, congratulations to you guys, because I honestly think you guys now have a formidable team on your hands, and you guys will have something to talk about again in basketball. Love it. Love it. But I want to know what you guys think. Hit that comment section. Let me know what you guys think about these moves between Kyle Lowry getting traded to the Heat. Do you guys like that move? Do you not like that move? Excuse me. As well as Lonzo Ball and now DeMar DeRozan being acquired by the Chicago Bulls to join big man Nikola Vucevic down there in the Windy City. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. I want to know your opinion. Do you guys like these moves? Do you not like these moves? How do you see this playing out for both teams, the Heat and the Bulls? How do you think these acquisitions, do you think it will work in their favor? Do you think it will work against them? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. We're going to take a quick break, and I will be right back. All right, we're back after that quick little break. Just wanted to take a quick break, catch a breather. Sometimes, when you're talking for a certain amount of time, you need to do that. You know what I mean? Catch your bearings, you know what I mean? Get your mind recirculated, you know what I mean, for the next topic. So, speaking of the next topic, we are going to move on. More NBA free agency frenzy. And I had to talk about this one because, one, it's my team. And two, I'm shocked that we made this move. Andre Drummond, former center for the Detroit Pistons, Cleveland Cavaliers, and as recently for half a season, the Los Angeles Lakers, has signed a one-year veteran minimum deal to be the backup center for the Philadelphia 76ers. My Philadelphia 76ers. I like this move a lot. And why I like this move for Drummond is because other than Dwight Howard, which he played for us last year, we have been struggling to find a legit backup center to take some of the load off of Embiid, obviously, when he's out of the game and he needs a breather. We have not been able to find stellar production at that number 5 spot and a backup 5 spot for a long time. Like I said, Dwight Howard was the best one we had for a while and a long time when we acquired him last year, and he just bolted back to the Lakers. So I really like this move, but it is interesting that the Sixers would sign Andre Drummond. I wonder how Joel Embiid feels himself, because back when Drummond was playing for Detroit, and obviously, Philly, Detroit, I don't want to say Eastern Conference rivals like that, but any East team is considered a rival. So them two personally kind of developed a little rivalry to the point where they would, have some words on the court, and Embiid would troll him on Twitter and would even called him a bum at one point, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really interesting to see that we would make this deal, considering some of the bad blood from back in the day between Drummond and Embiid. But I think Embiid, both men are consummate professionals. I think they'll both talk about it and be like, hey, you know what? It was competitive nature. It happens. Everybody talks trash to each other. I'm sure Embiid isn't the first center or big man to get up in Drummond's face and call him a bum, etc. It comes with the territory. Be that as it may, the Philadelphia 76ers signed Andre Drummond to a one-year deal on a veteran's minimum. I like the move. Like I said, we need somebody legit in the backup spot to help Embiid to help the second team when Embiid's out off the court. I like the draft pick of Bassey, but he's young, he's inexperienced, he's a rookie. So maybe Bassey can learn from both Embiid and Drummond now, obviously. And obviously that can help Bassey end up working his way into the number 2 spot behind Drummond. And then eventually, if Drummond plays well enough, maybe he can go somewhere eventually and get a new contract and have a bigger role on a team than he is going to be having with us. That's kind of how I see this move. Drummond's going to play backup to Embiid. When he does get his minutes, he's going to do what he does. He can be a guy who comes off the bench and gives you 10 points, 10 rebounds. He can be that. And I think that that's also going to look good for him if he does put up those kind of numbers and stay healthy, because then if an opportunity opens up elsewhere, he can be used as trade capital, or when his deal is up, he can go sign a larger contract with another team. Or even re-sign with us and stay in Philly, if we want to keep him, to keep backing up Joel if he, obviously wants to keep doing so. Be that as it may, I love this move for our team. We needed a legit number 5 to back up Embiid. He's a legit number 5. You're talking about a guy who I said can not only come off the bench and give you 10, if for some unfortunate reason Joel starts to have injury problems again like we've seen in the past. Drummond is a guy who can go in and get you 20 points and 20 rebounds when he's playing 30-plus minutes. He is a top-tier center. That's why it's just sad to see guys like Drummond, who balled out for so long in Detroit, and then in his little bit of time in Cleveland, balled out to the point where, but that team is so bad that the player himself, their stock diminishes. And I kind of feel like that's what happened in Andre Drummond's career. This guy should be a starting center easily on a team. Easily. But I'll take it. I'll happily take it because Joel Embiid needs a solid backup. We, the Sixers, need a solid backup at the center position. So I love this signing by my 76ers, but I want to know what you guys think. Hit the comment section whether you're a Sixers fan or not. Let me know what you guys think. Do you like the signing of Andre Drummond? Do you think it's a good move by the Sixers? Do you think it's a bad move? Do you think we should have just stuck with the rookie Bassey at the 5? Maybe implement Paul Reed at the 5, give him some more run? Or do you like this move like I do? Hit the comment section. Let me know your opinion on Andre Drummond signing a one-year veterans minimum with the Philadelphia 76ers. Like I said, I love it. We need a legit backup to Embiid, and especially if for some reason Embiid tends to get hurt again and needs to miss time. I love this move because, like I said, Andre Drummond, he's better than Dwight Howard now. He's younger too. Drummond's 30 years old. He's basically in the prime of his career. I love this move. Absolutely love it. And he fits with what we want to do in terms of big men living in the paint. I love it. I absolutely love this move. Shocked me. Didn't see that coming, but I love it. And I'll take it happily. All right, we're going to move on. Now, I had said in yesterday's show, when I discussed the Los Angeles Lakers trading for Russell Westbrook, that I did not feel the trade itself was a good fit. I thought the Lakers should have went in a different direction. But as we know, that did not happen. The Los Angeles Lakers did trade for Russell Westbrook, and that left him with a 6-man roster, which consisted of half of them being their big three, Westbrook, AD, and LeBron. And I said in the show yesterday that this team is going to have to go get formidable role players in order to make this work even just a bit. Even let's say if the big three does work and they mesh and Westbrook meshes with LeBron and AD and their personalities and everything just clicks. Well, you're going to need your role players to click as well. And I don't believe that the Lakers were listening to me. By the grace of God, hopefully they were. It'd be a huge clout. You know what I mean? It'd be huge clout if one of the Lakers was watching my show. Obviously, big deal, which obviously that's not probably happening. But, hey, one could dream. But I said the Lakers need to go out and make a lot of low-end value pick signings. They needed low-end cheap signings. And I said that on yesterday's show. And by the look of it, it looks like the Lakers knew what they had to do. Because the Lakers went out and signed Trevor Ariza. Now, it's worth to note, Trevor Ariza used to play for the Lakers before, back when Kobe Bryant was on the Lakers. Ariza's a veteran. He's been around the game. Well, Ariza is now back on the Lakers. And with the Heat last year, he proved he still has some gas in the tank even at 36 years old. Like that signing for the Lakers. Why I like this signing, and this is something that this is a trend right now, what I'm seeing with these signings. So let's get to the signings. Obviously, the Lakers signed Trevor Ariza, Kent Bazemore, Wayne Ellington, Dwight Howard, and Carmelo Anthony, all to veteran minimum contracts. We're going to get to Melo here in a second. But what I want to say about all these signings is all these guys have length. All these guys are tall, big. You know what I mean? Big for their positions, big for what position they play. What was the key to the Lakers winning the championship in the bubble? They had size. They didn't need to shoot the three that great. They shot it well enough, especially in the playoffs. KCP, Danny Green shot the three for them well enough to where, they can get away with some of that shooting indiscrepancy. But the key to the Lakers winning the 2020 bubble championship was their length, was their size. They were bigger than every other team. That's what I see in all these signings. You get Trevor Ariza, who's what, 6'10"? Kent Bazemore, who's what, 6'7", 6'8"? Wayne Ellington, who's about 6'6" for a shooting guard. Dwight Howard, obviously, 7-footer. Carmelo Anthony, 6'8", 6'9" at the 3, who can play 4. What this tells me is that the Lakers are going back to the pedigree of playing big bully ball. Big man bully ball. They're going to be looking to crash the paint. And guys, now keep in mind, Wayne Ellington can shoot. Trevor Ariza can shoot. Kent Bazemore is coming off his best three-point shooting year of his career. He's a 36% three-point shooter, which is average for the NBA. But he is coming off a season where he averaged a career best 40% from three-point range. Not to mention, Carmelo Anthony, even at his advanced age, can still shoot your eyeballs out too. So I like what the Lakers did here. They not only went and played to their advantage, which is get a bunch of guys who have size, because that's their style of basketball is to play big. But now you got guys in Bazemore, Ariza, and Melo who can shoot. And Ellington. Ellington can shoot too. Howard's going to obviously the key back up to AD at the 5. We know what he brings, that energy, that rebounding, that defense. I like all these signings. And they got these guys on the cheap, which they needed to do. I like it. I like it a lot. I think they did the right thing. I think these moves are smart moves. These aren't no what the fuck type moves. These are all legit formidable role players. Each and every last one of them. From Ariza down to Carmelo Anthony. And speaking of Carmelo Anthony, man, if this team meshes the right way, Carmelo's going to get his first championship. And this guy deserves it, man. Carmelo deserves it. I'm happy to see Carmelo join this team. I know there's probably a lot of people out there who are mad, you know what I mean, especially with, Westbrook. LeBron needs his super teams. Man, let's get over it. You know what I mean? Just because a team puts a super team together doesn't mean they're going to win a championship. But it does. It's entertaining to me. I like to see it sometimes. Can it be an unfair advantage? Yes, but that's up to other teams to not let it be an unfair advantage and play better and to beat these super teams. Simple and plain. But I like these moves by the Lakers. I really do. These are all formidable role players, especially guys like Trevor Ariza, who won a championship with the Lakers when he was with Kobe Bryant. Guys like Dwight Howard, who won a championship with LeBron James and AD back in 2020 bubble championship. So not only do they add shooting and championship and playoff pedigree, they add size, which complements to what they want to do. Smart moves. Smart moves. Don't play down. Don't sit there and play down to anything less than what you know your team is supposed to be. If you know your team's supposed to play like big men and play big, then you go get bigs. Then you go get guys who are big for their position. Like I said, Trevor Ariza, he can play the 3 and the 4, 6'10". Usually a small forward is considered 6'6", 6'7". Kent Bazemore, he's a 3 who can sneak into the 4. I consider Kent Bazemore more of a 2-3 because Kent's about 6'7", 6'8", maybe even 6'6". He's more of a 2/3 guard or 4. You can move him to the 3-4. Ellington is a shooting guard, but he's a tall shooting guard at 6'5", 6'6". Like I said, the Lakers, they did a great job of playing their hand, not only getting shooters in Carmelo Anthony and Trevor Ariza and Kent Bazemore and Ellington who can shoot. Each of these guys can shoot over 35% from 3. That's good enough, if you ask me. And then you got Dwight Howard, and then you got the size to go with it. Like, They're going to be, once again, probably the biggest team in the league. I like these moves by the Lakers, but I want to know what you guys think. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys like the Lakers move signing Trevor Ariza, Kent Bazemore, Wayne Ellington, Dwight Howard, or Carmelo Anthony? Do you guys think it was great signings? Do you guys think it was bad signings and they still bit off a little bit more than what they can chew by trading for Russell Westbrook? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think. As well as, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. The support is greatly appreciated. Please hit that like button and subscribe. I gotta get me them tickers on here too. Put the like button and subscribe on here. It's a work in progress though. These videos will get better. They will get better. I'd like to think I've made improvements slowly but surely since the time I started doing this again. You know what I mean? So hopefully, you know what I mean, these improvements just keep happening. But once again, this is 717 Sports Chat Live. I'm your host, Marcus J. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Lakers signing Trevor Ariza, Kent Bazemore, Wayne Ellington, Dwight Howard, and Carmelo Anthony to the veteran minimum contracts. Do you like these moves for the Lakers? Do you not like these moves for the Lakers? Do you think this team with Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and AD, and now with these role players, are going to mesh? I want to know your opinion. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. As well as, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. And don't forget to hit that bell button as well so you can get notifications on when I'm going live. I'm going to start doing other things like features, little featurette shows where I cover a one certain topic for an hour, something like that. Slowly but surely, we're going to add everything that I want to add to this show. Features, more photos, more little short videos, everything. You know what I mean? We're going to do this show up big. So just follow me on this journey. Hit that like button. Hit subscribe to the channel. The support is greatly appreciated. As well as, and this is optional, if you want to donate to the channel, cash tag MJW62089 is the cash tag. The support is greatly appreciated. Donations will go towards equipment, much like this. The GoPro Hero Black 9. I mean, you want to make a donation, feel free to. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's your choice. You know what I mean? It's truly optional. You know what I mean? It's up to you guys if you want to make a donation to the show. But anything, a like, subscribe, donation, anything to help make the show better is greatly appreciated. So once again, if you want to make a donation to the channel and help me try to get the Hero Black 9 from GoPro, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and there goes the Cash App link, MJW62089, cash tag MJW62089. It's the link on the bottom right there. And it's also on my YouTube channel in the corner of my photo. Once again, donations are completely optional. You do not have to donate if you choose not to. It is strictly your choice. You know what I mean? You want to make a donation, much love. The support, any support, a like, a subscribe, both, or donation, all three, etc. Any support is greatly appreciated. All right, we're going to move on. And we're going to get out of NBA news for right now. But before we do that, we're going to take another short break. All right, we are back. I had to take a quick break, you know what I mean? Catch my bearings again, you know what I mean? Take a quick little breather, you know what I mean? But now we're going to get up off of NBA news and we're going to move on to some NFL news. As you see there in the caption, Nick Foles to the Colts is gaining traction. My question is, how do you think Carson Wentz feels? Before we touch on how Carson Wentz must feel, we're going to talk about why the Colts are looking at Nick Foles to possibly come in and lead this team until Carson Wentz gets back. Now, everybody knows the story in Philadelphia with Nick Foles and Carson Wentz, man. Carson Wentz, obviously was having a career year for the Eagles, had the Eagles looking like legitimate Super Bowl contenders, and then they ended up going to win the Super Bowl that year. But unfortunately for Carson Wentz, he ended up tearing his ACL about 10, 11 games into the season, which prompted Nick Foles to take over for the team. Well, what did Nick Foles do in his time leading the team? He led them to the Super Bowl and was named the Super Bowl MVP. To the point to where a lot of fans in Philly actually wanted to see Foles remain the starter in Philadelphia, being that a lot of them felt like Foles fit Doug Peterson's system more so than Carson Wentz did. And when you think about it, and if you really watch the games and you break down the analysis, that was true. And we're not saying that Nick Foles is better than Carson Wentz. What we're saying is for that system, for what Doug Peterson was running in that offense, Nick Foles listened to what Doug Peterson had to say. Whatever Doug Peterson drew up on the playbook, that's the play that Foles would run. In comparison for Wentz would sit there because he's so physically gifted, and he's more physically gifted with his arm than Nick Foles is. He would try to make more out of the play than what was supposed to be designed. So, for instance, let me extrapolate on that. So let's say if I'm Doug Peterson and I tell Nick Foles, okay, this design is to hit Nelson Aguilar for 10 yards going over the middle to get a first down. That's where I want the ball going to. Okay, Nick Foles is going to go exactly where the ball's supposed to go to Nelson Aguilar for a quick 10-yard slant for a first down. And if it's Carson Wentz is going to look Nelson Aguilar's way, but he's going to look for the bigger shot down the field. So in terms kind of going against the playbook. That's why a lot of Eagles fans felt a good bit felt that Nick Foles was a better fit in Doug Peterson's system than Carson Wentz, and Nick Foles should remain the starter. Fast forward, that was about 3 years ago. And mind you, when Carson Wentz returned the following season in Philadelphia, he ended up getting hurt again. And the Eagles were on the outside looking into a playoff spot. And what happens? Nick Foles leads them on a 4-game winning streak and takes them to the playoffs. They win by the grace of Cody Parkey missing for the Bears on the field goal, but they get to the second round. Was leading the Saints by 2 touchdowns before obviously it collapsed, and they were 1 catch from Alshon Jeffrey. If Alshon Jeffrey makes that catch and doesn't drop that catch, the Eagles are back in the NFC title game. So that's why a lot of Eagles fans were like, maybe Nick Foles should be our quarterback instead of Carson Wentz. Plus, the injuries of Carson Wentz started to pile up as well. Like I said, fast forward 3 years later. Well, everybody knows the story. Carson Wentz in Philadelphia last year had a god-awful season. The Eagles were depleted across the offensive line. Everybody they had from Alshon Jeffrey to Ertz looked a step slower, looked old. Like the bottom fell out from that team. And as everybody knows, Jalen Hurts was named the starter over Carson Wentz after a certain amount of time. Carson Wentz did so well with Carson Wentz, so he requested a trade. Here we go. Fast forward, the Indianapolis trade for Carson Wentz in the offseason, and he reunites with the man who was the Eagles' offensive coordinator back in their Super Bowl run, Frank Reich. Well, now fast forward to about a week ago, Carson Wentz is hurt yet again. This time, as I touched on yesterday's show, for 5 to 12 weeks. That's almost 3 months. From a month and a half to 3 months. So one would ask, why is Nick Foles to the Colts gaining traction? Well, because Nick Foles also played under Frank Reich in that system. See, a lot of people credit Doug Peterson, but that was really Frank Reich's offense in Philadelphia. This is exactly why the Colts are looking at Nick Foles, because they know he can run this offense. And it's also worth a note, unlike the Bears, the Colts have a great offensive line and playmakers. Now, granted, they did just lose their top offensive lineman, Nelson, to the same injury of that Carson Wentz has. So that does kind of, deplete their offensive line just a tad bit. But overall, they have a really good offensive line, and they have playmakers. And on top of that, the Colts have a running game. This is a running team. This is why they're looking at Nick Foles, because Nick Foles is going to do what Frank Reich wants him to do. He's going to run the play that Frank Reich wants him to run. He's not going to try to get cute and fancy with it. He's not going to try to make something out of nothing. He's going to do exactly what the coach calls it, whatever the offensive coordinator or Frank Reich, who's calling the plays, whatever that person says, Nick Foles is going to do. That's why the Foles to Colts trade talk is gaining traction, because of the familiarity that Foles has with this offense. But now I want to get to the second half of this caption. How do you think Carson Wentz would feel if the Indianapolis Colts traded for the quarterback that took over for him while he was injured in Philly and won a Super Bowl while he was injured in Philly? After basically Carson Wentz is the one who obviously got that season kicked off for the Eagles, and they had a lot of momentum, et cetera, et cetera. How do you think Carson Wentz would feel? Me personally, after what we saw with the Jalen Hurts situation in Philadelphia, I don't think Carson Wentz is going to be too happy about this. I don't think he's going to be too happy about it at all, especially if Nick Foles does end up getting there and he plays well. I mean, if you're Carson Wentz, you're about to think like, what the fuck? No matter where I go, this guy's going to come in while I'm hurt and take the team I want to lead and lead them to victories? Not even just that, like, if Foles plays well, the talk of him remaining the quarterback is going to be heavy on the Colts' minds. Like, if you got something hot, you run with it. So, how do you think that would make Carson Wentz feel? That the same guy who succeeded him in Philly when he got hurt is the same guy who succeeded him in Indianapolis. And what happens if that same guy plays fantastic football like he did for Philadelphia when they needed him to? If you're Carson Wentz, where does that leave you mentally? I don't know. I personally think, though, Carson Wentz will not like this. I don't. I do not think Carson Wentz will like to see Nick Foles once again in the same organization as him on the same sideline. I don't. After what we saw, how he handled the Jalen Hurts situation, I don't think he'll handle this situation well at all. I don't. But it's not about what I think. It's about what you guys think. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this topic. Do you think the Indianapolis Colts will eventually trade for Nick Foles? And if they do you think it's a good move based on the fit with Frank Reich? Do you think it's a bad move? Do you think that Nick Foles he had his magical run and it's now over, and he's no longer a competent quarterback who can win a few games for a football team? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about that, as well as how do you think Carson Wentz would feel if the Colts were to trade for Nick Foles? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Pressure is on that boy Wentz. I know he's feeling it. Wow. It's just it's kind of like fate. It's kind of like they're meant to play together or be on the same team almost. It's kind of like they're meant to be. Or like this is the meant to be storyline in terms of controversial quarterback when it comes to QB controversy. Man, I feel for Carson Wentz. But hey, you got to stay healthy. You can't keep getting hurt and expecting your spot not to get filled. That's not how this business or this game works. You keep getting hurt, you can't produce, they got to find somebody else who can. But hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that Nick Foles will be an Indianapolis Colt before the season starts? And if you do you like the move for the Colts? Do you think he will fit in well with this team? And do you think he will win a few games up until Carson Wentz gets back? Or do you think he will play well enough to where the Colts might say, you know what, we're going to stick with Foles? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think, as well as let me know how you guys think Carson Wentz would feel if Nick Foles were to get traded to the Colts. As well, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. All right, we're going to move on now to MMA news. Sean Strickland and AJ McKee highlight the weekend's big winners from UFC and Bellator events. As everybody who watched the UFC card, the main event was Uriah Hall versus Sean Strickland. It's also worth to note that it was Uriah Hall's birthday, but Sean Strickland had other plans in mind as he threw a 5-round domination birthday party for Uriah Hall, and he just straight beat him down for 5 rounds. It was a master class. I mean, I got to give it to the boy. He's got skills. He showed tremendous skills for 5 rounds. You know what I mean? He was just better than Uriah Hall. So now this win should definitely move him up the cards in the division, in the middleweight division. Everybody been talking about him, the beating he threw with Uriah Hall. It was really a masterful performance. It was. It really was. One of the better one-sided masterclass performances you'll see. And the other fighter in that caption, new Bellator featherweight champion AJ McKee has made his ascension into MMA superstardom, into Bellator superstardom by defeating former 2-division champion Pitbull Fabricio Friere by first-round submission to become Bellator's new featherweight champion and newest big star. There's been a lot of talk of this guy like for a long time now. Like, when is he going to ascend? When is he going to break through? And these last few fights, he seems he's put everything together, and he looks like a legitimate stud. I would really wish that UFC and Bellator would do these cross-promotion fights to see who is truly the best featherweight, middleweight, heavyweight, etc. in the world. But as we know, that will never happen. Dana White and UFC, they're not about giving up that money like that. Because if a Bellator guy beats UFC, that could cause some fans to be like, well, Bellator might have the better fighters. Let's click over here. So from a business standpoint, I understand it. You know what I mean? But, I mean, it just really would be nice to see guys like McKee go up against guys in the featherweight division in UFC in a cross-promotional. He don't have to believe Bellator. Why don't he put up his Bellator strap against the UFC champ, and that's the undisputed champion? That'd be the real undisputed title. But we're never going to get that. You know, but congratulations to AJ McKee becoming the new Bellator featherweight champion. I see a bright future for this young man. I can see if he stays on the path that he's been on, he's going to be tough to get that belt off of for sure. Really tough to get that belt off of. But I want you to hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about Sean Strickland's performance over Uriah Hall this past weekend, and who would you guys like to see him fight next? As well as let me know what you guys think about AJ McKee's title win against friere, against Pitbull Friere to capture the Bellator featherweight title. Let me know who you guys would like to see AJ fight next in Bellator, putting his belt up against the line. Who do you think should be AJ McKee's next challenger for that featherweight strap? Do you think Pitbull should get a rematch based on the fact of obviously the name and obviously, you know, he was a champion, so he should get a rematch? Or do you think a new challenger should be able to challenge for the belt? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about these guys' performances and who you guys would like to see these fighters fight next. Oh, man. And we are going to take another short break, and then we will be back. And when I get back, we're going to discuss UFC 268. Gaethje versus Chandler is in the works. That's a fight I want to see for sure. We're going to take a quick break. I will be back. All right, and we are back. Another quick break. We are going to move on to UFC 268 being in the works. They're apparently for UFC 268, Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler is in the works for the fight. Before I get into this, I just want to say, got one person watching this right now. You know what I mean? Appreciate the support. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. You know what I mean? If you already subscribed, get the word out there. Share my videos. The support is greatly appreciated. I will also note that I did clip down the last episode's videos to shorter, shorter content, shorter videos and stuff, so you're not having to watch the entire 2 hours of the show, etc. at one time. You know what I mean? I will be uploading those here after today's show. You know what I mean? So that's basically what I'll be doing. Every time I make a video, I'll be obviously trimming it down so that if you, the viewer, don't feel like watching the entire 2 hour episode, you don't have to. You get to watch clips of it. So that's what I'll be putting on after today's show. And you can check that in my upload section in my YouTube channel. All right. So now let's move on to Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler in the works for UFC 268. A battle of top 5, top 10 lightweights. And man, this is one of the better overall fights that could be made all year. It's all but, from what I'm reading, it's all but finalized. The fighters want it. The fighters obviously are in agreement of the fight. It's just obviously the contract isn't signed yet. The numbers haven't been discussed, etc. yet. Both fighters, in verbal principle, have agreed that they want to fight each other. And man, this has the potential to be the fight of the year. Both guys are terrific stand-up fighters, but both guys also have terrific ground game as well. Gaethje's ground game is very underappreciated because Gaethje decides to stand and trade and put on wars with these other fighters. So you don't really get to see his world-class wrestling as much as to where Michael Chandler you do, because if he sees the opportunity to take you down and beat your ass and ground and pound you, he's going to take that opportunity. He will take any opportunity to get a win. But man, in terms of stand-up, I have a feeling this is going to be a stand-up fight. Neither guy is going to shoot for a takedown. This is going to be an all-out war, and it's going to be whoever lands that one shot or that one punch or that one kick, it's over. That's how I see this fight. This fight has the potential to be fight of the year, all-out war of attrition. I'm very excited for this fight. And I hope it gets pen to paper. I hope it gets finalized. I hope nobody backs out or gets cold feet or nothing stupid happens or Dana says, I don't want this one next. I'll put Chandler against this guy. I want these two to fight next. And it makes sense. Because if I'm not mistaken, the winner of this fight should get the winner out of Poirier and Oliveira for the title. I'd be on board with that. But I'm just on board with the fact that these two could hook up and fight. Wow, this is going to be a fantastic fight for however long it lasts. I don't know if it's going to last long, but for however long it lasts, you can bet your ass that this is going to be an all-out war of attrition. These two are going to go at it. Mark my words, you heard it here. These two, this will be fight of the year. I'm calling it right now on the show. This will be fight of the year. My original hopes for fight of the year was Robbie versus Nick Diaz. But not anymore. Not anymore. This fight between Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler will be UFC fight of the year. I am booking it. I am calling it. You heard it here first on 717 Sports Chat Live. Your host, Marcus J., has just informed you Justin Gaethje and Michael Chandler will be fight of the year in the UFC. I expect nothing less. For however long it lasts, this will be a war of back and forth attrition. It is going to get down, dirty, and nasty. Because both of these fighters go to finish you. And that's what makes this fight so special. I love it when these fights are put together, when these type of fights are put together. When you know it's going to be two guys who's going to go in there. I'm not coming in here to put a game plan together. I mean, of course, a game plan, but my game plan is to put you down. I'm not trying to win a decision. I'm not trying to leave it in the judge's hands. I'm coming to finish this fight. And that's what you are getting out of both of these fighters. And I fucking love it. So hyped for this. Please, guys, get this pen to paper. Get this signed. Get the date. If it's going to be at UFC 268, cool. If it's going to be at UFC 269, cool. I don't give a damn if it's at UFC 280, 200, 2089. Granted, they won't be alive to live that long, but hey, I don't give a damn if it's UFC 2089. I want this fight. This is the fight I want. Put pen to paper and let's rumble, fellas. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. These are the type of fights I'm talking about. Where it's two dogs stepping in the octagon, and you know both are going to be looking to put on a show. Both are going to be looking to give the fans their money's worth. That however much you pay for that ESPN subscription for the pay-per-view, the $70 to $100 that you pay, these guys are going to come to give you every half of that penny. Every half a penny, not a full penny, every decimal. Every point of a penny, these guys are going to show up and give you that action. Mark my words. I said it here. 717 Sports Chat Live. Marcus J said it. Justin Gaethje, Michael Chandler will be the UFC Fight of the Year when it's all said and done. But hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think about this fight. Do you like that this fight is being talked about being made? Do you want to see this fight be made? Or do you have other ideas for these fighters to fight? Do you have another fighter you'd like to see Gaethje fight? Do you have another fighter you'd like to see Chandler fight? Hit the comment section. Let me know how you feel about this fight. And if you do want to see this fight, if you do think this fight's going to eventually get signed, how do you think it will play out? Do you think Gaethje will win by knockout, submission, decision? Do you think Chandler will win by knockout, submission, or decision? And do you agree with me or do you disagree with me that this fight will be the fight of the year? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think. Take a good look. I want you to take a good look at these two fighters right here. Take a good look. Take a good look. Fight of the year. Book it. You see his face? You see Chandler's face on the right? Does he look like a pleasant person to you? Does he look like somebody to you that's going to come in looking to exchange pleasantries? Say, hey, how you doing today, buddy? Hey, I'm just going to kick you in the shin and maybe grab a hold of you and we're going to wrestle up against the cage. No, he don't look like that type of guy. Does he? No, he don't. You see the fierceness in his eyes. Just like Gaethje. Do you see a guy who's looking to come and shake hands and is looking to come and exchange pleasantries and win a decision? Hell no. You see two guys in this picture right here that is going to go to war, that is going to go to literally hurt each other. It is going to get nasty. One of these guys or both of these guys' faces will not look like this after the fight. Mark my words. It will be a bloodbath. Both will bleed. Both will bleed. Yes, there will be blood. There will be blood. But hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys like this fight for UFC 268? Do you guys like this for another card? Possibly a later card? You know what I mean? I think the sooner the better. UFC 268. You know what I mean? So, once again, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think Justin Gaethje should fight Michael Chandler? Do you think Michael Chandler should fight Justin Gaethje? Or do you, if you're a fan of these fighters, have another fighter that you guys would like to see them fight instead? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think. As well as if this does get put pen to paper and these guys sign the contract to the fight, who do you guys think will win this fight? And how do you think either fighter will win this fight? Do you have Gaethje by knockout, submission, or decision? Or do you have Chandler by knockout, submission, or decision? Hit the comment section. I want to know your opinion for this fight. I'm hype. I hope. Oh, please, God. Please, MMA gods. Please, MMA gods. Make this fight. Sign it. Get the contract ready. Please. Fight of the year. Fight of the year. Here, I'm telling you. Fight of the year. You heard it here. Fight of the year. Fight of the year. Fight of the year. I said it. But once again, hit that comment section. I want to know what you guys think about this fight. Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler. Two top UFC lightweights, you know what I mean, going at it. Two of the top and most entertaining fighters in the whole promotion. Let me know what you guys think. How do you guys got this fight playing out, if it works? As well as I want to know, will the winner of this fight for the belt next? Will the winner of Gaethje, if this fight gets on, will the winner of Justin Gaethje versus Michael Chandler, would you guys like to see them get a title shot next? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think. All right, we're going to take another short little break, and then when I get back, we're going to discuss today's last topic, and that will be boxing. Shakur Stevenson versus Jamall Herring is in the works. I will be back shortly. All right, we are back. How's everybody doing this evening, man? Everybody chilling, enjoying their evening, man. It's nice out, man. I will say that. It is real, real nice out, man. I'm going to take the dog out for a little walk, take him over to my cousin's house for a little bit. You know what I mean? Let him go see his little girlfriend. You know what I mean? Get him out the house. You know what I mean? Get up out this chair. I've been on this chair all day, putting things together, clipping videos down. You know what I mean? Trying to put in that work, baby. Trying to slowly put in that work. Getting this bad boy up and running. Getting this how I want it to look. But we're going to touch on the last topic of today. Shakur Stevenson versus Jamall Herring is in the works. Boxing news, etc. Anybody who follows boxing knows Shakur Stevenson is a young up-and-coming former featherweight champion. He's still kind of, I want to say he's being that he's a former world champion, he's not a prospect anymore, but his level of opposition has been left much to be desired. Excuse me. Has been left much to be desired. So with that being said, he moved up to the 130-pound weight class, and now it is being speculated that him and Jamall Herring, veteran in the 130-pound weight class, easily, which would be Shakur's toughest fight, especially in terms that Jamall is a really crafty boxer. He's a slick boxer. This would be the toughest challenge of young Shakur Stevenson's career to date. And Apparently, the two have been going back and forth on Twitter for a while now. They've been wanting to fight for a while. You know what I mean? And now it's obviously about to happen. There's no venue or date set yet, but apparently there's like verbal, like somewhat in principle agreement that they are going to fight in October or maybe in early November. That's what, from what I was reading on badlefthook.com. That's my go-to for my boxing, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. But from what I was reading on there, apparently the fight is all but done. They just need to find a venue and location. And my thoughts on it, I love it. I love this fight for young Shakur Stevenson. This is a big step-up fight. Jamall Herring is no slouch by any sense of the phrase. He is a legit fighter. He's a legit boxer. Very, very crafty. You know what I mean? A very, very crafty veteran in that ring. But be that as it may, Shakur Stevenson is one of those guys cut from a cloth of a Floyd Mayweather, cut from a cloth of once-in-a-generation type fighters. He has that ability. He has that skill. And even if you look in the betting lines, he's obviously favored to win this fight, and rightfully so. But I do see this as being somewhat of a tricky fight. I don't think it's going to be the easiest fight for Shakur. I could see Herring taking a couple rounds off of him. I could see that. But in terms of overall skill, I'm going with the young man. I just think defensively, it's going to be it might be a boring fight. I'll be honest, because they're both defensive fighters. They're both slick, very slick defensive boxers. But in terms of offensive explosion, Shakur has the advantage in that. Jamall Herring has 23 wins and only has 11 knockouts. So he's not a heavy puncher. Shakur, he's got pop. He's got speed and he's got power. So it's expected for Shakur Stevenson to win this fight. I'm expecting Shakur Stevenson to win this fight. I'm going to go with a decision. I think it's going to be a relatively boring fight. I think early on Stevenson's going to have a hard time finding Herring. And I think Herring in general is going to have a hard time finding Stevenson. They're both defensively skilled fighters. So usually when we get this type of fight, it does kind of make for a dud because both are looking to counter the whole fight. So it's going to be interesting to see who counters better and who's going to be more aggressive. That's what it's going to come down to. Who gets the better of the counter shots and who's going to actually take the lead of being more aggressive. But be that as it may, I got Shakur Stevenson winning this fight by unanimous decision. I'm going to give him 8 rounds to 4. I do think Jamall Herring can win some rounds off of him. I do. Just because he's a savvy veteran like that. I do believe that. But be that as it may, I'm going to go with the young man, Shakur Stevenson, to win by a 12-round decision over Jamall Herring when they do fight. Once again, the date and the venue hasn't been announced yet, but the fight is all but finalized. So when the fight does get finalized, I will have an update on that for you then eventually as well. But hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this topic. If you follow boxing, let me know what you guys think about Shakur Stevenson versus Jamall Herring. Do you guys agree with me that this is easily the toughest opponent he will face in his career? And do you agree that maybe Jamall might be able to present some problems to him? Or do you think this will be an easy blow-through victory for Shakur Stevenson and he'll show why he is the talent that he is thought of to be? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this fight possibly, well, basically being all but done, and it's looking like it's going to happen. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. How do you guys have this fight playing out? Do you got Shakur Stevenson winning by decision? Do you have him winning by knockout? Do you have Jamall Herring pulling off one of the biggest upsets, which would be in a long time in boxing, especially given the hype around Shakur Stevenson? Do you think Jamall Herring will win by decision or win by knockout? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this fight. Like I said, I'm going Shakur in 12 rounds. I think that both are defensive fighters. It will not be it's not going to be a fancy fight. It's not. It's not going to be a fancy fight. They're both technical defensive fighters. It's going to be about who counters and who counters better and who's just that little bit more aggressive. That's my opinion. Let me know what your opinion, how you guys think this fight will play out. All right, well, we still got some time left in the show. This is a 2-hour show. So I'm going to take a short break. This is the last topic I wanted to touch on for today. But I'm going to take a short break, and I'm going to be right back because we're going to look up some other news going on around the sports world. I'm pretty sure there's many more NBA news bringing in with more signings happening and signing trades, etc. So when I get back from this short little break, we're going to delve into that and see what other breaking news we can find in the sports world, see if any new news came up in the NBA, NFL, etc. I'll be right back. 717 Sports Chat Live. I'm Marcus J. I'll be right back shortly. All right, and we are back. Let's click this bad boy out to full screen, shall we? All right, and as I said before, the Shakur Stevenson and Jamall Herring was the last topic of the day. But being this is a 2-hour show, and we got 34 minutes left, we're going to chew up some clock, checking out some other topics here on ESPN that I didn't get to touch on yet or that I may have missed. Whew! Wow. I should have seen that coming. As you can see right there on the screen, Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry gets a 4-year, $250 million extension to stay with Golden State. I mean, I kept trying to tell people, there was talks about LeBron really wanting Steph to come over to to the Lakers, etc. Well, I don't know why I was doing that. All right, let's get up out of there. I was probably trying to play a video. That's why it's slowing everything up. All right, but as you just saw, Stephen Curry signed a 4-year, $215 million extension with the Golden State Warriors. There was a lot of talk about LeBron really wanting Steph to come to the Lakers. I kind of knew that wasn't going to happen. There was no way the Golden State Warriors was going to give up Stephen Curry for anything. He proved he still has it. In my opinion, he should have been named the MVP this past year with the performance he put up through the whole season, and given the fact that he had the Warriors within one game from making the 8th seed in the playoffs, that was my personal MVP outside of obviously wanting Joel Embiid to win it for the Sixers. But be that as it may, the Golden State Warriors re-signed Steph, will extend Steph for 4 years, $215 million, which will he'll be on the roster, barring injury and barring retirement, till he's 37 years old. So, I mean, I love that's the right move. Golden State had to make that move. You got to keep your star. You got to keep your foundation. I'm not in agreement. You cannot let any other team think they're just going to come in and take what's yours. And I kept trying to tell people, nope, Steph is not going to the Lakers. He's not. You know what I mean? A lot of people try to tell me that. Like, yo, we really think Steph's going to the Lakers. No, I'm saying the Golden State Warriors, they'd be the dumbest organization to let a guy like that walk out the door, especially with no backup plan. So, as you saw, Steph Curry gets 4-year extension, $215 million from the Warriors. It's a good move by Golden State. You got to keep your foundation. I like it. Now, another topic, that I did see this earlier, and it kind of slipped my mind when I was putting everything else together for the show. Apparently, there was a big brawl, at Giants training camp, which apparently pinned their quarterback, Daniel Jones, underneath the pile. Now, obviously, hey, we're going to click into it. Team-wide brawl that pins Daniel Jones in pile abruptly ends New York Giants training camp practice. See, listen, guys, things like this happen in football sometimes. It's inevitable. There's a lot of emotions, a lot of testosterone on the field. You know what I mean? Grown men around each other for however long during the day, how many days out of the year. So, especially when you're competitive, things can get tedious and can get chippy. And obviously it got more than chippy because there was a big old brawl that pinned the Giants quarterback, Daniel Jones, underneath the pile. And when it gets like that, especially when your quarterback is getting put underneath the pile, that's not good. That's not a good look, especially because what happens if your quarterback gets hurt? Then what? Especially how much the Giants have invested into Daniel Jones, being that he was a top 10 pick a couple years back. So, obviously, those guys got to get it together. Those guys got to figure out, how to play with each other and put those emotions to the side. And Coach Judge obviously has got to get his team in order. That's just what it boils down to. You can't have these guys literally fighting to the point where your quarterback is at the bottom of the pile, risking him getting injured. And I saw a little clip of Daniel Jones downplaying it. Like, no, man, call it for what it is. They all fucked up. Y'all fucked up. Now let's move on. Don't sit there and, downplay it like it wasn't that big of a deal. No, it is a big deal because I guarantee it would have been a big deal to you had you have gotten hurt. I guarantee you would have been so passive-aggressive then. So that's my opinion on the whole New York Giants training camp practice brawl. Hopefully they figure it out and get it together. Coach Judge can get that team in order. And whatever guys that don't want to be a part of what they're trying to cook up, I guess get them off the team. That's all you can really say about that situation. You can't have guys who are going to start fights on the team, especially when it can risk your quarterback getting hurt. You can't allow it to happen. Can't let it happen. So I do expect some punishments to be handed out from the Giants organization. Players are probably going to get fined, suspended for a game. And I think whoever the culprits are, whoever started it and whoever did what in this situation, I think they need to be properly reprimanded for their actions. Because what happens if your quarterback gets hurt? Then what? You're going to go back to Colt McCoy? Come on now. Get it together, Giants. But like I said before, apparently there was a big mini camp brawl at Giants training camp today. Like I said, I did watch a clip of Daniel Jones, and he tried to downplay it, but call it for what it is. These guys started fighting. Somebody did something or said something wrong, and they started fighting, and it got chippy to the point where the quarterback was left underneath the pile, and things like that cannot happen. So obviously the New York Giants need to figure out what's going on and what bad seeds are in there and need to, unplant those bad seeds. All right, let's see what else we have. Ooh, that's interesting. Oh, wow. Well, according to this ESPN report, the Minnesota Vikings have released cornerback Jeff Gladney on Tuesday after he was indicted by a Texas grand jury on a charge of felony assault against a woman he was previously in a relationship with. And I mean, look, I'm going to touch on it real quick. Obviously, that's a terrible situation. You know what I mean? You don't know what's going on. You don't know the full details. Obviously, it's just allegations at this point. You know what I mean, unfortunately, we don't have full details on everything about this, but apparently Minnesota released cornerback Jeff Gladney based on the fact that he's picked up felony assault charges from a previous relationship, etc. And you never want to see situations happen like this, especially with athletes or anybody. You know what I mean? So hopefully we get the full details, and hopefully it isn't what it sounds like, and maybe it's just a misunderstanding, or if he did do it, you know what I mean, he should be reprimanded the way he should be reprimanded. You know what I mean? The proper consequences should be laid down if he definitely did do what they're accusing him of doing. Wow. Wow. That's a good signing. That's a really good signing. So what I was just oohing and awing about was the fact that, let me put this up here real quick. All right, so what I was just oohing and on about a little bit was more NBA free agency signing. Like I said, I told you I'll find some more little juggernauts on there and stuff outside of the big signings that were reported today. The Brooklyn Nets signed former San Antonio Spur point guard Patty Mills, and also retained two-way player Bruce Brown. And why I say two-way player, because he can play the two, the shooting guard, and he can play the three, the small forward position. But as you see there, the Nets signed Patty Mills to the roster. And I like this move because Patty Mills is a veteran. He has championships under his belt. He has championship pedigree. Obviously, has veteran leadership, and he can still shoot. He can shoot. He can shoot your eyeballs out. And I think that is really good depth signing for the Nets. Especially, you're going to have to adapt. And with them losing Jeff Green to the Nuggets, they needed to fill some spots, especially in terms of that guy coming off the bench who can shoot. Now, granted, Jeff Green ended up starting for them a lot of the time. Patty Mills won't be starting, obviously, but he is a very solid number 2 option coming in off the bench behind Kyrie or to spell for James Harden because he can push the ball up the court. Now, granted, he is more of a number 2 type point guard. He's a more shooting type point guard, but he can still control the offense, push the ball up the court, etc., etc. So I really like that move by the Brooklyn Nets. I think that's a solid move, especially a good depth piece for them. As well as they retain Bruce Brown. Now, the thing about, and that's another good move by them to keep Bruce Brown on the roster, because Bruce Brown showed this in Detroit, and I saw him play in Detroit, and I thought, man, this guy, he's a producer. He can go somewhere and be a really good role player. And then when he went to the Nets, he showed that again, that he can come in and fill in, and he's not the biggest scorer, but he can get you some points. He can get you some rebounds. He can pass. He can do a little bit of everything, and he can play pretty good defense. So I like both of these moves by the Nets. I think this is a really, really smart investment in both of them to keep Bruce Brown, a guy who can do just about everything. He's a guy who can push the ball up the court. Excuse me. He's a guy who can push the ball up the court, coming off the bench. Keep things in rotation. He can also get you a rebound, play defense, as I said. So both these re-signings and signings and re-signings by the Nets, I really agree with. I like it. I like Patty Mills. I've always liked Patty Mills. I think he's a solid bench guy. He's a solid 6-man type player. And the Nets needed to add more depth. They were kind of a little bit thin on depth last year. So I really, especially in terms of veteran depth, so especially at the guard position. So I really like this move. I really like this move by the Nets to land Patty Mills. Now he has another opportunity to compete for a championship. And that's the biggest thing why it's good why the Nets signed Patty Mills is because he does have that championship pedigree. He knows what it's like to make big shots in the big game. He knows all about that. So to grab a guy like him who can come off the bench and bang a couple threes for you, can maybe get you 10 to 15 points off the bench and give you some energy plus experience and championship experience, that's a big signing for this team in order for them to take that next step and get over the hump of the Eastern Conference semifinals to the Eastern Conference finals, possibly to the NBA finals. So I like both moves. I felt like they definitely had to retain Bruce Brown because, again, he's another bench guy who can come out and produce. Like I just said, he can do a little bit of everything. He can defend. He can score. He can shoot the three. He can even go get you 10 rebounds, get you 5 assists. Bruce Brown can do a little bit of everything. So both the Nets signing Patty Mills and the Nets retaining and re-signing Bruce Brown are really, really good moves that I'm on board with. But I want to know your opinion. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Nets signing Patty Mills and retaining Bruce Brown. If you're a Nets fan, even if you're not a Nets fan, do you like the move? Do you guys think they're both good depth pieces? Or do you guys think the Nets could have did a little bit better? Do you guys have any other players in mind that you like to see the Nets could have grabbed? Hit the comment section. I want to know what you guys think. As well as hit the comment section about all these other topics we touched about NBA free agency in general. Like I said earlier in the show, I am really impressed with the Chicago Bulls and what they're doing in free agency. This is the first time in a long time they're being aggressive. And, man, are they being aggressive. Like I said, Lonzo Ball's now signed. You already have Nikola Vucevic that they traded for midseason last year. And now DeMar DeRozan is doing a sign and trade from the Spurs to join Lonzo and Vucevic in Chicago. Chicago's going to be making some noise next year. I really like that, what they're doing. So I want to know your opinion. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys feel about NBA free agency, who your team is. Do you guys like the moves your team's made? Do you guys think your teams could have done better, should do better? While there's still some players out there, keep in mind, Damian Lillard and Bradley Beal has not been traded for yet. So the two main guys that are supposed to be sought out this offseason haven't been traded for yet. The biggest name has been Russell Westbrook to the Lakers. So hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this crazy NBA free agency signing period that has taken place. I want to know what you guys think about Kyle Lowry signing with the Heat. I want you guys to let me know what you guys think about Lonzo Ball signing with the Bulls, DeMar DeRozan doing a signing trade to the Bulls. Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the NBA free agency. And, man, like I said, to me, this is the best NBA free agency we've had in a good bit. This is easily the best. And the fact that Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan are going to the Bulls easily makes it that way. Because, let's be honest, did you really expect the Bulls to land anybody big? Anybody. Nobody was talking about Chicago being in play. Man, I said it earlier in the show, and I'm going to say it again. The Chicago Bulls will be in this upcoming season. They will be next year's Atlanta Hawks, what the Atlanta Hawks were this year. They will be that team that puts a good core together and finally gets out of that playoff slump. They will be going to the playoffs, barring injury. If they can stay healthy, they will be going to the playoffs. But once again, hit that comment section. Let me know what you guys think about the Nets signing Patty Mills and retaining Bruce Brown. Do you like the moves? Do you think it was good depth pieces to add to the roster? Hit the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about these moves. I like it. I think they got better, especially depth-wise. Oh, man. But, all right, guys, we are going to wrap it up for today. We got about 15 minutes left in the show, but really what's 15 minutes going to hurt? I done covered everything that I needed to cover and wanted to cover for today. You know what I mean? All these big NBA free agency signings, etc. You know what I mean? We already covered it. You know what I mean? We already got it out the way. I expect more to be happening within the coming hours. So we'll definitely have more for you tomorrow. You know what I mean? So I guess we're just going to sit back, relax, and see what else transpires in the NBA free agency. See if any new news on the Nick Foles situation in the Colts happen or if the Colts go in a different direction. Every day there's something going on in the sports world. So I'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be checking up on more topics, touching up on more topics tomorrow. You know what I mean? But that's it for today, guys. This is 717 Sports Chat Live. I'm your host, Marcus J. Everybody have a blessed evening. Good night, y'all. I'll check you guys out tomorrow from 5:30 to 7:30.